Welcome to Grameen Foundation's podcast series, Women in Agriculture. We discuss ways in which we can transform systems, mindsets, perspectives, behaviors, and actions so that rural-based women farmers and women entrepreneurs can show up with their full power. I'm your host, Lakshmi Iyer. Welcome to Women in Agriculture, podcast episode 4. On today's episode, we're going to be talking to my India-based colleague, Rupali Awade, who is a gender expert with the MANDI 2 project taking place in eastern Uttar Pradesh and West Bengal. Rupali is a key member of the gender working group at Grameen, and she'll be broadly discussing two of Grameen's central gender-sensitive approaches within our gender power tools. The first one is intra-household dialogues and the approach that we use there and why we use that approach. And the second is our exploring power dynamics trainings that we've been holding for farmer producer organization board members. These two approaches are the ones that the MANDI 2 program is really implementing to further women's inclusive active engagement with FPOs in Uttar Pradesh and West Bengal. And we're excited to bring you this episode, and a warm welcome to Rupali for joining me today. Hi, Rupali.
Yeah, hi Lakshmi.
I just thought maybe we could start with a brief introduction to the intra-household dialogue approach. Could you talk a little bit about what is an intra-household dialogue approach and what are we aiming to achieve by conducting intra-household dialogues?
Yeah, thanks Lakshmi. Actually, this intra-household dialogues are it's a tailor-made, it's a facilitated approach, and in this activity, actually, we call it as an activity, and this activity we call 2 or 3 families. Families, I say, it's a household of like 3 to 4 members from one family, adult member from the family. We call them for the meeting, and we discuss with them about the participation of women in FPO and what kind of benefits they can get from the FPO activities, FPO businesses. So this is a question answer session. It's like a two-way conversation with the family members and the facilitator. We have team members and they are having a conversation with the family members and they're explaining. And it is more of we encourage them to ask as many as questions they can, and we try to answer all and satisfactorily answer their questions so they can encourage the women in the family to join FPO.
Okay, thanks for that. And what is can you highlight what kind of the key point is of the intra-household dialogue approach and perhaps some of the concerns that women and their family members might have as they conduct this approach?
Yeah, so like in India and especially in the Eastern UP where we are working, the typical questions which come from the family members like, what will the women do? Because the notion, the perception is the FPOs are completely male-dominated entities, and what women will do in this? Because FPO is like a business act, they are doing business activity, and how a woman can contribute in the business FPO business. So this is why we are asking women to join. And second is since it is a male dominant active entity, so women are feeling little shy to be a part of the FPO. So these are the two or three questions that people keep on asking whenever we have meetings with them, and we explain them what kind of benefits they can get from the FPO, like buying inputs, and taking getting trainings, technical inputs for the agriculture, climate smart technologies and women friendly technologies. They can get multiple benefits from after joining the FPOs.
Got it. So it sounds like it's really about these families that know each other quite well. They're maybe from the same vicinity, kind of coming together with a Grameen Foundation team member to discuss the ins and outs of becoming a shareholder, and specifically doing this so that women have their family members' support
Yes,
to actively participate with the FPO. Does that
yes,
sound right? Okay.
yeah,
Yeah. And it's interesting to me that during the facilitation of this conversation, that it's really about highlighting the benefits that a woman shareholder might receive. I wonder what types of concerns they might have as they walk into this dialogue with you. What are some of the common questions that they ask you, aside from the benefits that a woman might receive?
yeah. So, Lakshmi, as I said earlier, that the first question is what will women do? Because FPOs are for men and SHGs for women. Because uh, families are well aware about the self-help groups, and in self-help groups they do some money transactions, got trainings, exposure visits, and it's all women groups, so they got a chance to interact with each other, and they share their concerns, their personal life issues, everything. So in FPO, they have this notion that what will we do, because it's completely male dominant, and whether our voice will be heard, whether we can raise our concerns, what kind of response we can get from male co-members, and whether we will be given a space to talk or not, or whether we will be given any kind of responsibility or not, because in SHGs, in self-help groups, women are getting some kind of responsibilities. So they feel that the ownership of the self-help group. So here the notion is that if we become a member of FPO, that ownership will be not given to us, because it's completely male dominated thing. That's that's the questions and concerns coming from the women's side and from the family side also.
Yeah. I mean, I guess we would all want to know the same thing, right? If we were to join a group that would actively take up our time, and we would want to ensure that the benefits were tailored to us. So it makes a lot of sense that these women and their family members are asking this. Thanks for explaining that to us. How many dialogues like this have been conducted within the MANDI 2 project till date?
Yeah, so Lakshmi, we have conducted 120 dialogues, in which like 250 families, we can say families, and the women have participated. Um, so far, and this is an ongoing process, so in coming months we will be conducting more dialogues, since we are working with the FPOs and it's agriculture based activity, so we have to mindful of the agriculture seasons also, right? Like right now the paddy sowing season is going on, so women are completely busy in that. So that's why the activity has like little slower down, but after 15-20 days, when the paddy sowing is over, we will start with the full-fledged activities, gender dialogues with the women.
And so with these 120 dialogues so far, and I guess with 250 families, I'm assuming it's about half of that has been the women participants themselves, so maybe 125 women or so.
Yes, yes, yes.
Yeah, how many have actually become shareholders from that?
So turning point is it's little less, like we so far in our records we got that only 75 women come forward after having a dialogue to become FPO members in different FPOs. Uh, but we are assuming that after having a second or third dialogue with the women, we can have a turnaround point is more than this.
I see. So it's actually amounting to approximately one half, like a
Yeah.
half of the women that have participated. Interesting. Yeah, I mean, it sounds like the dialogues have been conducted enough times, right, to have a strong sense of the issues that households are asking about. I wonder, aside from the questions that they're asking about, aside from the benefits that they now know about, are there external factors associated with women not becoming shareholders? And does that come up in the dialogue at all?
Yes. So one of the benefit we can see from the dialogue is that women are coming closer to us, and they got the space to talk with us and share their concerns. Because in UP uh, we have more. It's a, like a dynamics is there. People don't want to. There's a caste dynamics. There's a social dynamics that women are not allowed to come out because they cover their face most of the time, and uh, they don't want to speak in front of men. And the other concern is the money, because to become a FPO member they have to invest some money like 500 INR to 1000 INR. So this is a big amount for them, because they are most of them are agricultural laborers. They are getting they have a limited income, so they actually don't want to invest that money, and they don't see the benefits of, though there is a bigger benefit, but the immediate benefit they don't see in this.
Yeah, that is quite a lot of money. And I suppose that there are many, it's a complex situation, I feel, based on what you're describing. And in Eastern UP, especially when it comes to social and gender constructs and dynamics, it sounds like women and their family members, they face a myriad of challenges in trying to remove some of these barriers. And so the conversation, these inter-household dialogues perhaps are the first time when they're actually actively discussing what a membership or shareholdership could look like for a female member of their particular household or even within their community. And one of the that's it's really kind of like pioneering work to me, it sounds like, because of the dynamics within Eastern UP. Um, One of the things that you've said to me with respect to complex dynamics in Eastern UP is that, we can only convince men when women are ready to come out of the house. Can you talk a little bit about that? Because I think that's a really interesting statement, and why you think that the inter-household dialogue approach can support women to actually come out.
Yeah, so Lakshmi, this is complete. This is a social dynamics what we have observed. Women don't have enough of education, so a kind of fear to talk with the external world is to interact with the external world. They have a fear that we don't have much of knowledge, and uh, uh, there's a language barrier also, so we don't have much of knowledge, so we can how can we interact with the external world? People will laugh on us. We don't have that much of education. How can we interact with the people? So this kind of fear women have. And because the upbringing is like, since from the childhood the girl was told that you have to see the family, you have to take care of your in-laws, your children's, your husbands. So they have like they build up the like they make up their mindset like that we only have to sit at home, and what we can do in the business or in the agriculture, although they are doing agriculture labor work, but they don't want to. When I ask various women about the do they know about the what variety of paddy they are sowing in, or what is the amount of produce they have this year, or in at what rate the produce was sold. So this information was completely not with the women, but they says, "Ki, we are just doing the labor work. We did the sowing, we did the weeding, we did the harvesting, but we don't know about anything about the business activities, variety, pesticides, all these things." So through the dialogues and through interactions, we explain that, ki, that is your right to know about. Okay, how much, what variety of paddy they had sown, or what is the rate at that amount was sold out?
It's so interesting that the dialogue approach is also recognizing that perhaps a one-on-one type of session with a woman first might be might be an important foundational conversation to have. Um, and I just go back to this statement that you made that it's really only when women themselves are interested to leave their homes that a family member will be convinced to encourage them or nurture that desire within themselves. So that's really interesting. And it sounds like the approach is also an adaptable approach and is really contextual based on the situation and the challenges that women are facing in that particular context. Um, Another conversation you and I were having, Rupali, is about the elderly individuals within a household and how they have a lot of power and clout and agency over what both men and women who might be younger in the household are doing. And you touched a little bit upon it when you were talking about the elderly men of the household, but I wonder if you could talk a little bit about the role that elderly women also have and the role that they also play during the intra-household dialogue approach, because I think it's quite interesting as they it sounds to me like they're a pivotal kind of key player in the household when it comes to this decision.
Yes, Lakshmi, the role of elderly, especially I can say the role of elderly women is crucial. It's important in this intra-household dialogues because in most of the family, I can say almost all the families where the elderly women, like a mother-in-law or a grandmother-in-law is there, she is considered as a decision maker at household front. So the daughter-in-law will go out for any activity, it is decided by her. So after having some dialogues, I realized that we have to convince this women because men husbands got easily convinced, but the elderly women, because women the potential shareholder women, we when we talk with them, they says ki why can't you convince our mother-in-laws as well, along with the husband, because they are the one who are creating challenges for us. So we have a session with mother-in-laws also.
Yeah, it's so great. I mean, I think it sounds like what we're doing when we do have these either separate dialogues or a joint session with multiple members of the household is we're generating champions. We're basically generating champions for the women within their own households. And yeah, and sounds to me like without those types of champions, with a lot of the self doubt, maybe I could say, that women themselves face in this particular society, or because of a lot of the social constructs and dynamics, it's almost like these champions within the household and external, like women board members of the FPOs, can really bolster a sense of belonging for these women as they become shareholders. So
Yeah.
it's a really interesting approach that you're talking about because it takes into consideration so many of these complexities. So I guess I'd love to understand a little bit more about how the FPOs. So we've talked a little bit about the demand side. So we're generating a lot of demand, it sounds like. And now women are joining hands with the FPO. They're becoming shareholders. They're understanding the benefits of becoming a shareholder. They're getting their family involved. They have the encouragement and support of their families.
Yes.
And can you talk a little bit about the other side, the supply side? How are we supporting the FPOs to understand these gender dynamics and support these women?
So FPOs actually, as I already mentioned, that FPOs are the male dominated, and they don't see a space for women in FPO. ecosystem. But we had conducted many various trainings, like EPD trainings with them, and uh, we discuss with them about the gender dynamics with them, and uh, convince them doing through so many exercises, like daily activities and decision makings and access for the resources. So all these activities, it's like a brainstorming for them, and they although they know it, but it's like uh, it's like a pinning them about realizing them that these are the activity women are doing in agriculture system in their field, so they have the right to be a part of the business. And we have collected so many testimonials also from the especially from the men BOD members of FPO, and they really realize that yes, we have to involve women in FPO business.
That's great. And so what are the results, the preliminary results that you're seeing after conducting exploring power dynamics trainings with FPO board members? And I guess a point in there, just highlighting a point in there that we're now talking about a mixed board, a mixed gender board. So we're talking about male and female members now joining hands, which
Yeah.
we know is also novel, perhaps we could say like that, in this particular society when it comes to Eastern UP. So generating an awareness of the activities that women are responsible for in agriculture through the exploring power dynamics training sessions. How does that support the board? How does it shift their thought process in any way? And what are the types of activities they're now doing as a result of this training?
Yeah, Lakshmi. So, involving women, because it is a mandatory from the government side. So, having one woman board member is mandatory from the government side. But through our intervention, we have added one more woman in the board. And most of the FPO we are working with, like we are working 43, working with 43 FPOs in Eastern UP, and almost 90%, 95% of the FPO, they have two women board members. Uh, and because one woman cannot speak in the group of men, but if there are two women, they can speak up, they can support each other. And we are trying to make them champions as a community leaders, so they can convince more women to join FPO as a shareholders. And moreover, now we are encouraging FPOs to start the value chain activities where women can take part. So women can get work. Not 100% women can get work, but those women who are interested and who have a little bit of talent to do, they can take part in the value chain activities. So these are the benefits women can see from the after joining the FPO, having the having part in value chain activity, which is like an income generation for them. It can boost their economic status. So these are the benefits women can see, and even men can see after having a women shareholders.
Thank you, Rupali. I think this is really great. Thank you for giving us a brief about these two approaches and how we're leveraging them and how they are quite complementary, actually, in the way that they're supporting women, their family members, and the FPO, along with FPO leadership, to strengthen gender mainstreaming. I really appreciate your time, and it's been great speaking with you.
Yeah. Thank you, Lakshmi. Thank you so much.